Sorry?
You're one of the top-ranked players in the world.
So
you are showing this frustration. I'm asking you, do you think it's an issue for you?
it is not an issue for me. It's not the first time that I did it.
Nothing is an issue when you are Novak Djokovic. Being probably the best tennis player ever isn't easy, but it definitely helps when you have that savage in you. It can win you games and help you overcome some sticky situations, one of which happened in 2018 during Wimbledon.
Kyle Edmund was in form, probably playing tennis of his life, in the last 12 months.
During the 2018 Wimbledon, Novak played Kyle Edmund, a player who was not only, as Novak mentioned, playing the best tennis of his life, but was also playing on his home turf, as he is British. This made the fans even more passionate than usual, leading to some truly unpleasant situations for Novak.
Obviously support the player. There's nothing you can say about that. Of course, it's expected. But today there was just some people, especially behind that end where I got a time violation, they kept on going. They kept on going and provoking, and that's something that I can tolerate for a little bit. But I'm going to show that I'm present as well. That they can't do whatever they feel like doing.
Not only was he a savage on this post-match presser, but during the match he made sure to return the provocations right back to the crowd.
Again, Djokovic.
Mira.
Blue balls, please.
Esto es lo que ha sobrado. Está en la reserva, No puede comer algo.
Tremendo Djokovic.
Sí, con el público.
Esa cara desafiante de Nole, como hacía mucho tiempo no le veíamos en una pista. 40-0.
No ha cantado nadie.
Nadie ha cantado, pero la pide Edmund. Yo no sé si ha sido larga.
Si tocas por la mínima, es que ha sido larga y ancha a la vez, pero si tocas en la esquinita.
En el box lo celebran,
Escucha, ¿qué pasa? Que no la...
This is only one of the many times the Serbian tennis player showed his teeth. He always makes sure to do that regardless if it's an opposing player, the crowd, or anyone else. But for some reason, it's the journalists who always try to get away with being disrespectful. But Novak doesn't let it slide.
Hi Novak, congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
didn't necessarily mean this to be the first question because it's not about today's match or even the next one. It's more of an overview. What's it been like to be something of the bad guy chasing after Roger and Rafa all these years?
I don't consider myself a bad guy, but it's your opinion. But I'm not chasing anybody. I'm making my own path and my own journey and my own history. So I'm privileged to be part of the history of this sport that I love. And as I said on the court, I know about a lot of stats. I don't know about all of them, but they do motivate me even more.
This reporter only had a stupid question, and Novak's first response was enough to shut him down, but that's not always the case. Sometimes the reporters take this passive-aggressive stance against him for some reason. Now, we are sure glad they do, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have moments like these.
In Canada, what do you think the next person on there?
First of all, you guys have to understand that, I see, the way it was presented in the media, I didn't really like it, and I don't think it's fair that you guys point out myself as the decision maker. I am a president of council, but that consists of 10 players, so the majority decides. I am one of the 10.
This reporter is talking about the Professional Tennis Players Association, or PTPA for short. It consists of 10 members, one being the president, that is Novak, and 9 other players. They all vote, and every vote holds the same value. Thus, it's basically a tricky subject to talk about, especially since every decision made was discussed with Novak. But as we mentioned earlier, this man isn't afraid to get down. Regardless if it's in tennis or a press conference, Novak makes sure to make a couple of savage aces.
No, give him. I would like to hear what he. Yeah.
Well, if the board members who then vote against your wishes are then ousted, like Roger Rashid was, it does seem like there's pretty direct influence on who picks the board.
It has happened, as I said, it has happened in the past and they've stayed.
And it does seem like you are voting, from what I've heard, you are voting in the majority consistently. This is not like you're getting overshadowed. And you are the leader by title in this group.
And you're
the number one.
And your source is reliable.
Sure. But
Okay.
if you ever want to say anything about what happens there, you can shed more transparency on it.
You have first-hand information from the council?
Sure.
Sure?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, if you wanted to refute something, great. But if you just want to say you're not saying the right thing and give no counter story, that's not as useful.
This reporter seemed very frustrated for some reason, so the logical thing is to move on. Not in Novak's case, who decided to stand his ground and prove his point.
I would like to answer that, please. So, I know you guys are looking for a story, and when you have a certain agenda behind certain stories and articles that are written, and you cannot always react and act from the position of defense, because then you would expose your weakness, or then what does that mean? That we have to react to every certain article that you write or anybody writes, because you're exposing counsel, you're exposing me as an individual, that I am against certain individuals that were I don't know, on the board or leading the association or something like that. I just don't understand your comment about that we have to react with the opposing story on every single article. It doesn't make any sense.
After even more back and forth, it was finally time for the conclusion. And in this case, it was probably still a very kind one, taking into consideration how disrespectful this reporter was.
Everyone holds me accountable for every single thing that happens in tennis at the moment, which I think it's unfair, because I'm not the only one there. And if someone wants to understand the way the structure works, then he wouldn't be having that kind of approach. That's what I'm trying to talk to you about here. Not about informations that are going out there. Some of them are correct, some of them are not. I just feel like the way we go about things, there is a lack of respect, I feel like, and just pointing out to one guy and, putting all the pressure on him.
Finally, this wasn't the only time something like this happened. Novak did have this savage moment with another reporter.
These things, that's
I keep doing these things well. Why don't I get suspended then?
I'm saying you were close, weren't you? That's what I'm saying.
I'm close. I'm still not suspended, so if I'm not close, I'm not close.
It could have been serious.
It could have been, sure, or it could have snowed. It could have been snow in O2 Arena today, but it didn't.
So you don't think that gives you're not concerned about your mindset?
So I'm the only player that shows his frustration on the court, right? That's what you want to say. I'm the only player that is showing that.
You
That
are
is
showing it, though, so
sorry?
You're one of the top-ranked players in the world.
So
You are showing this frustration. I'm asking you, do you think it's an issue for you?
it is not an issue for me. It's not the first time that I did it.
Novak was showing his emotions on the field as he usually does, and this time the ball flew into the crowd. So of course the reporters had to cry about it. I mean, sure, when you see a unit like his doing this,
Chasing after Roger and Rafa all these years.
Although having gained the respect of the majority of the tennis world throughout the years, he has been disrespected.
well, another savage moment, I guess. If you love tennis and want to know all about it, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more awesome content. Show us your support by dropping a like on this video.